well. Okay, we got Utah with us. Fantastic. Cleveland is joining us. Vaughan in Toronto. Yes, that's next door to me where I am. Massachusetts. Fantastic. Okay, so we got a couple people from everywhere and happy heat wave, if that's what you're experiencing. Tennessee in the house. Tennessee is sweltering, Tiffany, from what we've been hearing and seeing from you. But thanks for hopping on, everyone. I wanted to welcome everyone to our workshop. Now, I do these now probably once a month, but today's I could see that a lot of people were buzzing about it. I know that a lot of people are looking forward to the replay and for good reason. Okay. So, everyone on today's call, you are either an educator, an education business owner, or you may even be a service provider. Okay. So, obviously, I would like to just say a lot of things are going to be centered around mainly our education business owner space, but a lot of the tools, a lot of the tips, and a lot of the strategies I'm going to share are very much applicable to those in the service industry. And I'm going to talk about that as well today. At the end of the day, whether we own a business that's physical, that's virtual, that's not in education, our positioning is always from a service mindset. Okay, so this is for the low noise. I'm sure I have some introverts on this call. The high profit strategy that's going to be useful for educators, service providers who hate marketing. Can we call that out? You may not love marketing, and I'm okay, safe space to share that. I am the marketing girl. So it's okay if you let me know you don't like marketing. I'm here to serve you and get you to feel and sit a little bit better in the marketing that is going to work for you. So, some of you, like I said, I know, but some people, you may be a little bit newer to this environment. So, bonjour, je m'appelle Elise. My name's Elise, and I am the founder of a company in education business called The French Tutor. Now, I have managed the French Tutor for the last 10 years formally, but it's been 18 years since I've been working with both full French students and French immersion, which is a very particular program, very popular in Canada for our students to get to bilingualism, okay, through their education journey. Now, I also mentor and coach other business owners to get to the vision and kind of bring to life and design the life business wise that they want for themselves. Okay. I built a six-figure education brand, and that was through mastering these three things: visibility, credibility, and strategic offers. And what I specialize in doing is really helping educators go from hidden and hustling. We can all relate to that hustle culture that's been a little bit glamorized that I reject, completely reject. And I want you to now step into sought after and scaling and growth oriented. Okay. So here's the truth: you already have the gift. Now it's time to shape it into a business that reflects your values, amplifies your voice, and multiplies your impact. So I want to welcome all of you again to today's session. I am very much a doer. So I don't believe, and I think we've been guilty of this, we might binge watch a YouTube video. We might go to a bunch of different workshops and we're just consuming, consuming, consuming. Now, the way I like to run our workshops is that we're going to be doing a lot of things. We're going to be doing. Okay, so we're not just sitting back and relaxing and enjoying, we're doing that, but we're also going to be implementing. It's very implementation based. So here's what we're building today. By the end of this session, you're going to craft a personal brand that speaks powerfully without performing. Performing is exhausting. Okay, choose a visibility plan that feels aligned and doable. We're going to also write a trust building post that positions you as the expert. Okay, so a lot of very hands-on marketing techniques is what we're going to do today. Then we're going to create your quiet funnel, and we'll explain what that all is. That's going to convert followers into clients. I always say, I don't care how many followers you have. Who's actually starting conversations? Who's actually buying the thing? That's what matters, okay? Forget all the cosmetics today. We're getting to the real matter at hand, which is how do we get more clients through just being who we are, staying who we are, okay? And then you're going to leave with a brand strategy that reflects who you are, not who the algorithm or some marketing guru or someone that has maybe 10,000 followers who they told you to be. Okay, so hopefully you have your notepads, however you're taking notes. I invite you to do that. Hi, Nitsa. It's good to see you. Well done, Brittany. Good job. Okay, so here's why most visibility advice doesn't work for you. And tell me if you've heard this before, okay? Drop a one in the chat if you've heard this before. People say if you own a business, you just need to post more. If you say, hey, I'm kind of trying to grow, trying to build, drop a one in the chat if you've heard that before. Post more and you'll grow. That's your solution. That's your equation. Okay, we've heard it all. But I'm here to tell you that being loud isn't a strategy. Clarity is. So by loud, I mean in your face. I mean you're opening your app and you're seeing someone all the time showing up. And there's space for that, right? But it doesn't always mean that a business is booming or thriving because they're showing up all the time. Clarity is what matters, and clarity from the right people is what matters. So you don't need to be on 5 platforms. If you were thinking today, oh no, I'm not the social media person, I don't exactly, feel my best or have the most energy doing that, this is letting you know you don't have to post on 5 platforms. You just need to be unforgettable on one. That is your goal. Unforgettable on one platform. So today I'm here to just release you from the thought that you need to be overexposing yourself, okay? And actually just start building a brand that positions you properly, even when you're not posting every day. All right, so let's dive in. So today, like I said, we're going to do a lot of implementation, but I wanted to share a little bit more insight into what a quiet power brand is. What's a quiet power brand? I don't think anyone's used that term before. I just like the way things sound sometimes. And quiet power brand for me was like, wow, there's 3 words that kind of seem to clash. Quiet power. What? Is that a thing? Yes, it's a thing. Quiet power brand. Do those even connect? I'm here to show you that they do. So there's gifted educators, gifted business owners that I meet every single day. And probably in the top 3 things that they say is a challenge is just number one, having the time to post. Number two, they don't have the allocated energy to show up online in a way that they feel doesn't feel exhausting. Okay. So, what is a quiet power brand? Well, it's being crystal clear about who it serves and what it solves. Crystal clear about who it serves. You can even replace who you serve and what you solve. Okay. Now, it's also built on trust, not tricks. Enough with the tricks and the gimmicks and the trends. People want to trust you, okay? You got to have trust from someone to have that exchange, that financial exchange. They got to trust what you're saying, okay? It's also designed to attract aligned clients through credibility, not noise. So, above all, you want to be credible, not in someone's face, but credible. Okay. And it's also emotionally resonant. So, even if you rarely go live or you rarely post reels, or people are not seeing you on their timeline 5 to 7 times a week, the quiet power brand can still be real for you. Okay. It can still be the identity that you assume. So this isn't about being invisible. Okay. I'm not going to say, hey, you don't have to show up online as long as you're credible. You're okay. No, we're going to show up. Okay. But it is about being very intentional and irresistible. And we'll show you how to do that today. Okay. So here's what we're going to be creating. And in a second, I'm going to give everyone access to our worksheet that we're going to bring this all to life for yourself through. Okay. So the quiet power brand formula, you need 4 things. And here's what we're creating today. We're going to create your brand identity. Now you might say, Elise, I know who I am. I know what my brand and what my vision for my business is all about. But we got to make it in a way that's clear to everyone else. So we're going to create something where people know exactly what you stand for. And I'm going to challenge you. If you don't have that narrowed down, we'll work through that today, but we got to stand for something. Okay. Number 2, we're creating your visibility focus. So this is where I said we're going to narrow down exactly the channel that best suits you, that you're most comfortable on, so that you stop posting everywhere and start showing up where it counts and where people are ready to make an action and give you their money. Okay? Third, your trust building content. So you want to create content. Like I said, people give you, they support you, they will exchange their resources with you when they trust what you're doing. So, how do you build trust? We'll work on that because you want them to remember you and make the action to actually reach out. Okay. Then we're going to work on your quiet funnel so clients come to you without chasing. One thing as a business owner we don't want to do is get stuck in a chase. All right. So let's dive in. I'm going to drop a sheet in the chat, okay? This is going to be your worksheet. It's a takeaway guide. I hope everyone on the call can access it, but what you're going to have to do is actually copy it, okay? So this is the same link for everyone. Copy it, make a copy, or else the version that you are working on, it's going to be editable. Everyone's going to see it, okay? So make a copy. Have a look in the chat, and then we're going to dive into our implementation, okay? The doing of it all. And like I said, this is going to be something, your brand is not something that you create overnight. Now, there are pieces to your brand that I want to support you with, which is what we're doing on this call, to at least have a pretty solid foundation. And I believe everyone on this call is already a business owner. You're already a business owner. You're already, operating business. You have had at least one exchange. You've had one exchange where someone paid you for the thing that you do. Okay, so now we're here to maximize how we create a process that you're comfortable in through your brand. Through your brand. Okay, now the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to create together your brand statement. Now, in the past, this may have, and people still use it, but you heard about the elevator pitch, right? You heard about the elevator pitch. I'm I'm not here to squash the elevator pitch, but I'm going to challenge that in today's climate in 2025, I don't think we have as long as the elevator pitch to establish our brand. Elevator pitch, it gave you a little time that maybe in theory you'd walk out the elevator and someone's like, tell me more. We don't have that time anymore. We've got to have a solid I help statement that's going to be rinsed and repeated when you appear in social life, in real person life, in, let's say you're in an interview, you're chatting with family and friends, and they say, like, what exactly do you do? This is the answer you're going to say on repeat. So I want you to look at your guides. Okay, I know you're seeing me still, but I want to walk you through, then you'll have time to actually work on your version. Okay, no problem, Nitsa. So I'll send this in the follow-up email. I'll send you a copy. No worries. Okay. So here is the template. I help who achieve what? Through what method? How? Okay? Through how? English tutors don't come for me. So they can become what? Now I have some examples so you can start to get your wheels turning a little bit as well. So I know some of your businesses more than others, but I've come up with a few. So for example, I help grade 4 French students build fluency through storytelling so they can speak with confidence at school and at home. Another example, I help overwhelmed educators package their expertise into premium online programs so they can grow a business without burnout. These may be personal to me. I don't know. Number 3, I help women. We have some salon business owners here. I help women who are tired of salon roulette get consistent luxury results from someone who actually understands their texture and their lifestyle. Wow, tell me more, salon business owner. 4, I help parents. We have a friend who registered for this. She owns a children's entertainment company. Okay, She literally goes into people's children's birthday parties and they don't have to worry. Parents, what a gift. What a gift. I help parents throw unforgettable kids' parties without stress, Pinterest fails, or chaos, just pure joy from setup to cleanup. Okay, so I want you to think, and I want you to think for my education business owners, I want you guys or everyone on the call, we're going to write ours. Okay, we're going to review a few live. We're going to take a few minutes to write ours, our personal ones, but I want you to think even beyond the cliche. Okay, I'll give you what cliche looks like. Everyone, okay, everyone as an educator is building confidence. I'm not saying it's not important. I say it too. Yeah, we do that. But you've got to say it in a way that is different and even speaking to the pain, the why of of why the parent needs to work with you. Okay? So you can't, I don't think it's as strong to say, I help students achieve uh, confidence. It's so blah, I can hardly say it. I help students achieve confidence through my reading program so that they can get good grades at school. Nope, not going to cut it in today's climate. Okay? So think deeper. Okay, I even challenge you just to even get a bit more bold in terms of what you've said in the past. Okay, so open your document. I'll give everyone probably just about 3 minutes, not expecting perfection, but let's start to work through this. Okay, and then we're going to share and review a few of these live and really just see where we land. Because sometimes, even with other people's eyes on the statement, we can give that feedback that's going to help you even think a little differently as well. Okay. So who do you help? Be specific. And if you're struggling with transformation and desired outcome, which I've seen be kind of the challenging ones, think of conversations you've had. What are your either current clients? What were they struggling with? Okay. What feelings were your students or their parents experiencing? They've given you the information. So just plug it in. Okay. We'll take a few minutes. Okay. And anyone who, because some of you, like I said, are pretty seasoned in the space. Yes, Shayna, go for it.
Sorry, I'm not sure if you saw Pamela's question, and I'm not the facilitator, but I tried to offer a response
I did
because I'm
not.
in her boat as well.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you for that. Pamela, what if you have two aspects of your business that are related but very different? Well, I sit probably in that similar boat as you. So elaborate on that if, and I know others on this call, they have service and also product. So any more insight on that so I can dive deeper?
Yeah, do you mind if I talk?
Please do. I want you.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted me to keep this in the chat.
No, no, go
Um,
for it.
so I am a French teacher,
Awesome. Welcome.
and and I really do want to get the tutoring off the ground, but that hasn't happened yet. But in the meantime, I have created a business where I am working with teacher authors to create to I edit and proofread and help them with developmental editing of the TPRS and CI novels that teachers use in the classroom. And
Okay.
so I have these two sides. They're definitely related because French teaching is at the heart of all of this, but they're very different audiences and people that I'm working with.
Yes. So in your case, and thank you for that question, Pamela, I would say exactly what Shayna is saying. There has to be two brand statements, especially at the stage that you're in. Now, I'm not going to say that is what has to happen forever. Okay, because as you saw in my introduction, I say, yeah, I've had a French tutoring business, but I also do mentorship for educators to grow their businesses. But I feel when you are trying to establish a brand, you have to become known for the one thing. I would recommend that before you're kind of expanding, because what the goal is, as we shared, is to build trust. So if the audience from the onset is not as clear, it's not about them not trusting you, but the clarity isn't there. So clarity leads to trust. Trust leads to exchange of resources, which is a payment for your services. Okay. So I would ask you, is even right now, is there a priority in your business development? Do you prefer the the teaching aspect of it?
Um, well, I'm a little torn. I love teaching and I love my students in my classroom, although I would really like to get away from the classroom eventually, soon. Um, but I really love working with the authors as well. I feel like the earning potential is much greater with the tutoring and teaching, however, because how many French teachers are writing these CI novels and how many can afford professional editing? And so I'm torn in those two, I'm divided.
Yeah,
But the one that is producing income right now is the editing.
I am going to say often there's a way to test, okay? But I was going to ask which one's paying you right now. And I would ask you to lean into that from a branding perspective to really explore the full potential of it. Because sometimes we think, because I haven't seen that offering. Like, I'm also here to say, like, we got to do things that are in demand, and that is has a need, and there's a so if people are already exchanging, right, their resources for your services, and you still enjoy that as well, from what I'm hearing,
Mhm.
then that is something I think you can explore in a way that's very intentional through branding it. Now, with the build of the tutoring, that can happen, but I would say that's with having a proper template through your exploration of the editing services. Get solid in that as a branding, and then see if you want to venture off to the tutoring branding. Because what's tough is to build a brand for two things at the same time. You're going to burn yourself out.
I can say that I have been attempting to do that for the last year and a half
Mm-hmm.
or 2 years, but I'm not burning out so much as I'm really just giving my attention to one thing or the other, and I'm not balancing things in such a way that the tutoring absolutely hasn't. I've had some inquiries, I've had scheduled some meetings, everything always falls through. Um, Not on my end, but on the other, on the other side. And it just hasn't taken off the way the editing, but I was launched by a former editor who really was well known
That's a
and
congrats.
was retiring. And so I kind of that helped me a lot
Yeah.
because I kind of inherited her clients.
So, Pamela, what I'm hearing is you got a business going. Okay. You got a business going with your editing services. And like it's hard for me, the position I sit, because I am also like there's still a business hat that I wear where it's if something is in motion, you enjoy doing it, you're being compensated, you've inherited, you obviously have some credibility for this editor who was very well known to refer, right, people into your space. And now I would say double down on that. Now, it doesn't mean that your tutoring can't exist, but like you're maybe sharing as well, without the effort or like the intention going behind it, I would say it's consuming time, even with the inquiries or people kind of being flaky. it's consuming time where you could be really booming the editing brand. So I would
Okay.
even sit with that. I know sometimes we want to juggle a few things, but our priorities often they speak the loudest. So if we're seeing we're putting more time into editing the services, and hey, that could mean that's what I'm prioritizing, even if I'm not overtly acknowledging it. Uh, I would say what's cool about what you do, it is related. So once you solidify the branding of the editing services, now you've got a great audience and it's going to be okay. They trust you. When you do want to put a little bit more splash on the tutoring, they trust you enough to say, hey, you're doing this thing. Wow, I have students that I know. Hey, Pamela's amazing. I trust her with everything. She's like A1 with this French stuff. Have your students sign up with her. So the intentionality matters, but one thing at a time for the sake of you and for the sake of the brand itself.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we've given minutes, okay, a few minutes. Is there anyone who wants to share their I help statement? Okay, once again, yeah.
I
Tiffany, go for it. I saw Tiffany unmute first. Yes.
Okay, I'm a hairstylist. Hi, everyone. I've just transplanted from Canada to Tennessee to the United States, so I'm starting all over. And I start in August. So here's my statement. I help men and women who are tired of salon roulette get consistent luxury results in natural hair care, braids, and extensions from a stylist who truly understands their texture, lifestyle, and hair goals.
Okay, so I will be the last to respond. How did you guys feel listening to that?
I thought that was very, very clear as to who you're serving, and it addresses in a really subtle way the pain points that the people that you're serving might experience. And it's very subtle way to address that. And I really like that. That sounded great.
Totally agree. Tiffany, that's well done. That is solid. I think it's clear, as Catherine said, and it leaves no room. I don't think it leaves room for much question. And that's what we want to do with our brand statements. Literally, we don't need to be appealing to everyone. That's the problem with social media. Who cares who likes your stuff? What matters is who's reaching out about your stuff that actually is going to pay for it, right? Shayna, let's hear it.
Oh, I just had a
Oh,
question. Thank
yes.
you, Tiffany, for going first. I just had a question about length. Sorry. I love your examples on the slide. I'm in my own copy of the worksheet. I feel like through the different activities I've done up to today, I was always worried that it was too long. And thereby when someone just asks, like, what do I do? Again, I get the whole elevator pitch thing. I agree with you actually, but I felt like, too long, they're kind of just maybe
Mm-hmm.
don't listen to the whole thing, or you've done, like, Tiffany, you've done a great job, but I immediately was like, that might be too long. And it's not because you're not clear, it's just the conditioning I've received. So before I share, I just wanted to ask that. And also thank you for your example.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah. So that could be something, like I said, your brand statement is something that sometimes will have a character limit. In your bio on Facebook, for example, it's going to be a character limit. So let's say I'm thinking immediately what I would tweak if needed. Men and women, I would just make it like I help people, right? We can cut it down. But everything else I would leave in. And I think it's also gonna, the more we say it, the more it's gonna have our personality behind it as well. Okay. And I would use the word tired, right, Tiff? Good. Yeah. These are good emotions to get deeper in. Yeah. Consistent. What a good word. Who wants to go to a hairstylist when you're not sure if it's going to be the same service each time? Right? So I think you nailed it. I think for what you do, this I don't see this being done. I don't see hairstylists really they're really big on showing the product, which matters. It matters. It's going to matter. But it's also, well, why pick you? This is going to eliminate, okay, people that you don't, or the service is not for them, but also attract those that it is. Okay, so your I help statement is going to help you stand out in the marketplace with your branding. Okay, anyone else want to share I help statement? If you don't want to share out loud, type it in the chat. But I invite you. Yeah, Shayna, go for it. We'd love to hear it.
Sorry, I'm going to speak, but I thought I could copy and paste with a space. It's trying to embarrass me. Sorry. There we go.
No worries.
I had to do two,
Okay.
but I'll pause so folks can read, or I can read. My daughter's having a dirt nap. So I help parents achieve clarity through consultations, assessments, and report card reviews so they can feel confident about their child's French immersion pre-enrollment or post-enrollment journey. I wasn't sure about the or, should have been what, Nevertheless, that's how my business started. Started with assessments and then it grew to realizing I need to support people through the pre-enrollment process, which was explained to me by a business analyst. I used the wrong terms for the services, and she was just like, you have a great product. You need to call it pre-enrollment, post-enrollment, just to make things clear. Um, you know, so assessments, consultations, report card reviews. But now I've been asked through, I guess, the quiet model, without realizing it. I've been asked by a parent if I offer high school graduates like guidance support. I'm actually a certified career strategist, resume strategist, in addition to a certified French immersion teacher or Ontario teacher. So now for my day job, the second part is what I do anyway. And now I've decided to add it to my business, hence the second statement being completely different, because no, I'm no longer going to work with the parents at that point. It's the folks who have made it to the finish line by way of
Yes.
French immersion.
Awesome. Okay. Anyone have initial feedback? I have a couple thoughts for sure. I invite anyone have any contribution. I'll jump in. So definitely very clear. Both statements are very clear. Now, similar sounds like Pamela, sounds like I know Catherine does, I know now Shayna does, have more than one business offering. So like there's the business, then there's the business, let's say branch that could exist as well. So I would say it's always important for you at the end of the day to still be known for the most in-demand thing that you offer. You still got to be known because that's, I would say, bread and butter for the most in-demand thing that you offer. So I don't have an issue with the second statement. Now, if you see more and more that is something where it's booming and it's kind of taking the priority of the first offering that you lead with, then I would say mention that more and more. So the brand statement ideally will be Shayna is known to be the go-to for parents achieving clarity through consultations, assessments, report card reviews, so that their child can do X. Okay, I want you to be known as that thing, or pick the one you want to be known for and lead with that. Now, that's not to say if you appear on someone's platform or you have interaction with someone who the second option is their priority, then of course that's your brand statement. I help French immersion high school students graduate confidently and enter the workforce by doing X. Okay. So what I don't want us to do, similar to Pamela's feedback, is to confuse our audience. At the end of the day, like I said, we have one statement to repeat over and over so that when it is their time to get that service, you're the one that comes to mind because the clarity was there and it was repeated. Say, oh my gosh, I need my child's report card reviewed. Who in the world can do this? Oh, I saw that there's this lady I follow. Yeah, that seems to be her service. Okay, let me reach out. Oh, is French immersion for my child? Who in the world does this service? Oh, Shayna, she's been saying I've been following her for 2 years. That's what she does. Okay. So that's what I would share for okay, take two. So yes, you want to read your second one? I help parents.
Oh, sorry. Yes, yes, I didn't want to overtake there. I help parents achieve clarity through assessments so they can feel confident about their child's French immersion post-enrollment journey. It needs work. I just was working with the first sentence. They're called post-enrollment assessments. So I help parents achieve clarity through post-enrollment assessments so they can feel confident about their child's French immersion journey. However you wordsmith it, that's what I do. It's what I get most of my money from.
Okay, good. The only thing I'll say, I'm just being me
Of
right
course, please. Thank you.
now. Post-enrollment, I get that, but I don't know if I would explore or test different ways of saying that. Only for our parents who maybe English is not their first language and where they're like, okay, my child's in French immersion, but post-enrollment, uh, and I'm sure it resonates with the clients that actually make the action with you, but I would just say test out a different way of saying it. Test it. After, yeah, I don't even know how to say post-enrollment, guys, in a different way, but
Oh,
that's
no, thank you. I
yeah,
ran with that only because of how the services got rebranded. But I agree
yeah.
with you. If someone just asks what I do, that's not going to support the new person who doesn't know what's going on. So thank you for your feedback.
You're welcome. It's pretty strong. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Brittany. Brittany, I know the allergies are kind of, you want me to read it for you? Are you okay to read?
Yeah, I'm good to read. Sorry
Okay,
about that. Thank
no
you.
problem. Yep.
Um, Mine says, and I already feel like it's a little awkward, and it's definitely just a draft, but I help adults become confident Spanish speakers without feeling overwhelmed through live small group coaching so they can connect with and build stronger relationships with Spanish speakers through bilingualism.
Awesome. Okay. So this is a pretty solid start. Now, where I felt something was without overwhelm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of adults, and I'm sure through your experience, that's a lot of the feelings they'll want to explore language or like any kind of learning, but overwhelm is their concern. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I would look at I would look at the middle section through
Okay.
live
Yeah, it didn't
small
feel
group.
like it
Yeah.
was rolling off my tongue the way I wanted, but I feel like it's
Mm-hmm,
going the right direction.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I want you to dream out loud and tell me what the live small group feels like. What's the feeling in there? Because, uh,
Okay, perfect.
yeah, what's the feeling in
So
there? Yeah, go for it.
what I wanted to actually build upon, and I didn't even get the word community in that statement, is
Beautiful.
what I want to be is providing the community.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Through community,
Hmm.
or yeah, replace small group coaching with community through
Okay,
like-minded community.
perfect. Yeah.
That's what
So then
people
my
are
my
after.
question,
Hmm.
I was thinking initially I found like a lot of adults who are like married to Spanish speakers and who are wanting to have deeper relationships with their, family members that they're marrying into. I'm
Yes.
finding like a good niche, but I don't know if I want to just niche down that specifically or kind of keep it a little more open, and then maybe it can kind of lump in, educators who'd like to speak Spanish because they have a big student population who speak Spanish, or service providers or healthcare providers. Do you have any advice on that? Should I just keep it as adults, professional adults, compassionate adults, or
Well, here's what I'll say. We have to sometimes test the exact adult it's not even in the least thing. You might say professional adults. You might say, I help families connect more deeply through
yeah,
Spanish
okay.
lessons, right? That helps you to build
Mm-hmm.
stronger relationships, okay? Or
I
enjoy
like
a
that.
glass of wine at your next family dinner together, to travel back home this summer and tell what is grandma in Spanish, abuelita, grandma,
Mm-hmm.
and connect with abuelita over dinner. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that's content though. That's content.
Okay.
What I would say for branding is this is the shell. Okay, you have the shell. Now, the community word is what I would insert in there in that middle part. And I would challenge you even get a layer deeper on the build stronger relationships. Okay. I would say, uh, if there's a feeling we can get a little deeper on so that you can finally, and it can be basic or like feel simple, and so that you can finally feel a part of the family dinner conversation so that they can stop feeling stressed when it comes to connecting with your Spanish speaking colleagues. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah. So I want to challenge
Okay.
you on build stronger relationships, go a layer deeper.
And connected to a feeling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Catherine.
I'm already editing as I'm listening.
Ah,
I did an update because I really like the use of these emotion words and the overwhelm, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna steal the overwhelm word.
yeah, do
I
it.
don't know. So my fear with using a word like that is it's kind of for everyone. Maybe you're not overwhelmed, but maybe you just like really want to start online teaching and you just don't have the thing you need. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I didn't want to alienate people, but it's also a lot stronger, it seems like, to capture the attention, to use that kind of emotional word. Thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I'm very into reclaiming their time. That sold me. I'm in. Reclaim my time, yes. What do you mean? Sign me up. I love you identified everything we need to identify. So literacy educators, oh, that's not me. Off I go. Keep scrolling. That's what you want. Okay. Eliminate prep time. Well, what are your educators struggling the most with? Prep time. Who wants to spend all these hours planning a lesson? Streamline their teaching with my complete online literacy teaching platform. Uh, uh, I would even play around with my done for you online literacy teaching platform. Just so they're like, I don't have there, it's already clued in, it's implanted, I don't have to do anything. It's done for me. I would play around with that. Otherwise, it's very strong. You got some hearts and
I like
thumbs up.
done for you.
Mm-hmm. That's it, Pamela. Once for my AI users, which should be all of us in some regard, guys, it is about now helping your AI build your brand and support your business. So, what is going to resonate more? What convos, like I said, have you had in the past where you could plug something into AI and they can identify, okay, what are the key emotions my clients are experiencing? What do they say to you when they do message you? You know, have they not been able to find this one thing? How are you the solution to that? So, very good. Okay, Pamela, beautiful. All right. Anyone else want to share a new, like a fresh share? Hey, Pamela, revamped. I help French teacher authors bring their books and resources to life. Yes, through expert editing and thoughtful guidance, so they can confidently publish materials that are accurate, engaging, and teacher approved. Well done. Yes. Yes. And Brittany, you're getting feedback. Everyone, you know, this is what it's about, providing the feedback. So excellent, excellent work, guys. Now I want us to move forward. Don't forget, this is not a one and done thing. This is something where you're gonna actively work on it until you nail it. And you're gonna test it by actually putting it out there, right? You're not just gonna sit on it until you perfect it. We're gonna put it out there and see how it resonates with the people we're trying to reach. So let's simplify how you show up. This is all about choosing your visibility channel. Remember in the beginning, I said you don't have to appear on 7 platforms. Just got to choose one. We got to be strong on one. So let's simplify how you show up. Think really clearly about where your dream clients already spend their attention. For the educators in a certain demographic, our parents are on Facebook. I am usually shocked at the amount of parents that are messaging me daytime on Facebook. So, oh, I'm looking, calling me, hi, I'm looking for services. And I'm like, no one's at work. Well, they are. They are working and they're also on Facebook. 2 browsers, work browser, Facebook browser. Okay. Where are your dream clients spending their attention? Pamela, I imagine LinkedIn, maybe. for you, editors and people in that sort of, it sounds like a more higher education, maybe people who education, they lead with that as conversations and as social as well. What platform do you feel confident using? So I always say, we're not meant to be experts, and we're not ever meant to be like these social media gurus, but I'm pretty sure, even from a personal standpoint, you feel confident using one of the many platforms available to us. Whether it's the simplicity or like how easy it is for you to actually understand it. Okay, got it. Okay. And also understand what style suits your energy. So, what do you like doing? Do you like writing? Are you a visuals person? Or are you audio and video? So there's so much that these platforms can do, guys, that honestly, if you decide what best suits your energy, you can just stick or prioritize the type of content that has you feeling your best. Now, I will also say there are some times, and I get the feeling if you're like, listen, Elise, I don't like doing any of the things. So, newsflash, neither do I. Neither do I. But as business owners, sometimes we have to, we've got to be the marketers, but in a way that is comfortable to us. So you'll never hear me say, it's okay, just sit back, manifest your clients coming to you. That won't be what I tell you. What I will say is we got to choose the one that best suits our energy and lean into that. So here's where you're going to choose one. Okay, you're either going to choose your Facebook profile and groups. Facebook is very popular. Okay. Email list, for those of us who've been building an email list that allows you to write. Okay, for the writers here. Instagram stories with soft CTAs. So Instagram stories are really cool. You'll be surprised how well people do on stories. It lasts for 24 hours. Okay. And you have an action to take. You give someone an action to take, either connect with you, DM you a certain word. Very powerful. Okay. Long form value posts. So this I love. This I love because more and more I am very, like, I'm exposed to a lot. And at the same time, I know what I like to consume, what grabs my attention. So we'll be, I'll be clear in saying that the internet, more and more people are skeptical to buying things online. It's just a fact. I think the pandemic, it did give people more of an awareness or give them more of a, okay, I can buy and purchase things online, but now with that also came some not so great experiences online. Okay, so let's put that out there. So what people are doing more and more, they really want to creep you, for lack of better word, and they'll probably have to see you at least 7 times. Okay, that is a sales stat. Someone usually see you 7 times before they attempt to make a purchase. Meaning, what stories are you telling? What can they consume and feel like they really know you before they send that direct message or that email or message you that word? Okay. So visibility is not about being loud, it's about being remembered. So I want you now on your sheet. I want you on your sheet. Number 2 is to choose your visibility channel. And maybe you're already on it, but just confirm on your sheet what's that one platform that actually matches your energy and where your ideal clients are most active. So if you're not a TikToker, but someone told you TikTok is cool and you should do it, but you don't feel aligned to it, don't pick TikTok. Brittany, fantastic. Facebook is easiest for me. Well done. Okay. Facebook for Nitsa as well. And given what you both do, yes, your clients are on Facebook. They're there. Can I know Brittany teaches adults? Absolutely. There's space for tons of adult Spanish learners. Okay, good. Shayna's deciding to focus on Instagram. So you've done some testing. Good stuff. Shayna, how does LinkedIn do for you?
Sorry, I'm here. I was typing as well. You know
Of course.
what? I actually am glad you asked me because Insta, I can never spell it. Here's the thing. I was given this advice from day one. Choose one platform, master it, and then move on. I
Mm-hmm.
started with Facebook. Sorry, that's not true. I started with Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
just because. And then my mom said, look at this video. Look at this girl. Look at this woman. You need to be like her. Just everyone, FYI, it was Elise. Like literally, she showed me her video and said, you need to do things like her. And I said, one, I don't have the
Wow.
time. Like literally, that's why I messaged Elise 3 years ago, anyways. And I said, I don't have the time. But my mom is older than me. And I was like, wow, she's on Facebook. So I then pivoted to Facebook and essentially just did cross posting, which
Mm-hmm.
has its downfalls, but I didn't have the time, right? So just kind of went to Facebook. And, Facebook's an interesting space. Parents are there, but parents also don't want to spend money there, depending on how you approach them. So I did a lot of blog dropping, like just links and stuff like that. And that
Right.
works. And I know you asked about LinkedIn, but I just wanted to share this that when I say blog dropping, I had no channels. I just was on social media not knowing how to use it. And my marketing specialist told me to write blogs. So actually, most of my customers come from Google. So as much as I'm answering,
Ah.
joining this conversation, people actually pay me because they read my articles online. And I've started with 6 articles. I'm like, I'm never writing them anymore. And now I have 8. And honestly, I just drop my articles on Facebook, Reddit, and my traffic comes from Reddit and my traffic comes from really Reddit. But Facebook was where I could drop those blogs. I've abandoned those platforms. I tried YouTube because my marketing specialist says as soon as someone Googles YouTube and Google speak together, the algorithm communicate. So I just
Yeah.
repurposed all my Instagram videos and put them there. And I like that because it's a visual digital portfolio. Sorry. So when I am reaching out to organizations, I have a space where my presentations are recorded. But the videos are just, by chance if someone Googles me. And lastly, LinkedIn, I always had a page, but it would just direct people to Facebook or Instagram. It was just a place, right? And it also needed to be there because I added it to my LinkedIn profile as a founder, and I needed the page to exist so that people, like if they clicked it, they
Mm.
could read about it. That being said, I did a lot of reposting from LinkedIn. So I would have my LinkedIn page post and then repost it as a personal post. In the end, I just post now on LinkedIn myself and Bob's your uncle. Like nobody really needs to go to the page. So I know I'm talking too long. I had all those platforms and I've been abandoned them all. But what I love about what I tried is that if anyone arrives there, they know my brand though. They
Yes.
have enough posts to look at, pictures to look at, videos to look at. I asked ChatGPT to create a new headline for me because now I offer career services, which was never part of my plan. So thank goodness ChatGPT said from French class to first job. And from there, all of my platforms
Yes.
say the
Love
same
that.
thing. And
Yes.
now I'm working with and paying someone to help me with Instagram, but I'll stop talking there. Whether the parents are there, that's where most of my traffic is. So
So that's fantastic. I know, Shayna, this is not your day one of doing this, right? So, like I'll always say, it is okay to exist in more than one space, but there are, for some men, even the thought of one and doing that, it's almost the opposite effect. They're like, I can't, I just can't. But I love that you're saying that it is, and we're going to talk about that as well, about creating a funnel. So ultimately, yes, the goal is no matter where someone shows up, there should be a way of them being led down a pathway that leads to you. And there are tons of, no worries, Catherine, there are tons of platforms as well. If you're doing like social media cross posting, like when I post on Instagram, it exists on my Facebook, as in my business Facebook page. So there's tons of things we can explore. If you do say, okay, you know what, I think these top 2 might be ones for me. There's platforms that allow multi-posting just by you posting in one place. And then the next level up, if you have a virtual assistant or someone helping you, where they handle that. Say, hey, I need to exist in all these places, make it happen. Okay, that's your next level up. And that is also very, I would say it's recommended at a certain stage of your business. Okay. Pinterest, I love that idea. Yes. Yes to Pinterest. What I will share though, Pinterest is, it's very much, uh, it's tough to do the hard sell on a Pinterest. Now, to exist there and to build and connect and kind of start to build a small community there, that's really cool. But I wouldn't say it's being considered a social media acquisition channel, but it is very much about awareness. Pinterest can help you build in a certain awareness. Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool though. Okay, cool. So everyone has chosen theirs. It sounds and feels like, all right, so let's dive in. Okay. Now we're going to build your quiet funnel. Yes, Tiffany. It's like Google. Yep. Yep. Okay. So we're going to build your quiet funnel. Now, when we talk about funnels, maybe we have heard in the past that we need to have a freebie. Okay, we do at some point 7 emails or very complicated automations, but all you need is a clear brand message, which you either finished today or starting to build as of today. A visibility channel you can show up weekly, which is what you narrowed down as well right now. A soft CTA that invites people to connect. So here's the thing about social media. It seems obvious, but you've got to tell the people what to do. You have the power. Are they just looking at your content for a like? Because the like is not going to pay your bills. Okay, let's be clear. A CTA invites people to connect. You have to have people aware that this is a service, not just an information page, right? And a soft CTA, we're going to look at what that looks like as well. And a signature offer that solves a real problem. So a lot of your statements are actually showing me what your signature offer is as well. So yes, it's branding, but it's branding that shows what you offer and what problem you solve. So understanding that quiet funnels, they don't rely on volume, they rely on resonance. They rely on resonance. So here's what I want you guys to do, the quiet funnel example. And this is something, like I said, you can work on it today, but I want you to, okay, there's 5 steps to this, but look on your document. I want you to write one trust post. Okay, look on your document number 3. One trust post. That's either going to be a story of a transformation, a myth you want to bust in your space. Once again, challenge your AI if you need to. Say, hey, what are most adult learners learning a second language? What's a myth? What are a few myths that you can give me? Start your brainstorm. Never be stuck. Okay? Or a post about why you do what you do. So in step 1 of your quiet funnel, it is going to be about having an authority anchor. So weekly content posted on Facebook or Instagram or whatever you chose. Fill in your blank here, okay? Now, I also want you to look at, for those who are new to this, 1 to 2 value posts a week. So no fluff, just real connection building. An example, last year, Maya was terrified to read out loud in class. Now she asked to read first. Want to know what we did differently? Last year, let's say Brittany was terrified to speak Spanish with her colleagues. Now she starts the conversation. Want to know what we did differently? Okay. Last year, let me look at, I want to do, oh, Catherine left. Fine, we won't do Catherine's. Okay. Last year, Shayna was not clear on what her child's report card meant. Now she knows the exact questions to ask their teacher. Want to know what we did differently? Okay. Number 2, signature brand message. Now, this is what you guys built. You built this, but it needs to show up somewhere. So I want you to put this, repeat it out loud in your captions, but also put it in your bio. Whatever your bio is on Facebook, your personal page, guys, your personal page, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, you need to have the person be very clear as soon as they get to your page. Okay? Yes, Shayna.
I love these examples. Thank you. And I obviously follow you and you're a marketing specialist, but with this amazing formula for what I'm understanding is the caption, what is the visual, or was the authority anchor the visual? Sorry, I just didn't follow that part.
No problem. So the authority anchor is more so about the type of content.
Okay.
Yeah, so I will always say to my business owners, lead with an image of yourself.
Got it. Thank you.
People want to trust a person, and the days of just hiding behind a brand, it's dated. They want to know there's a human who does this. If you're posting things that are of value and that resonate, they want to see your face. Sometimes it's a little bit vulnerable to do that, but that's what people are connecting to more and more. People. They want to support, trust, and give their resources to people, not to a logo, not to the Canva template, not to the stock image, to a person. Okay, so sprinkle as much as yourself in this as possible. Okay, it builds trust. Now, the second, yes, so sprinkling your signature brand message. So I challenge you guys to, even if it's not completed yet, to put your statements that you created in your bio of whatever social media you decided. That should be all it's about. Now, if you're finding character limits, Facebook for sure has one. Just ask or rejig it so that it fits within the character limit without losing the whole context. Okay. Now, step 3, trust building posts once a week. I want you to, once a week, post a micro story or student or client that creates emotional connection. Tiffany, we can say women, we don't do our hair because it's always a need. Man, a woman and her hair in like beauty industry, we want to feel a certain way. We get our hair done and all of a sudden our self-esteem or something's different. The air, right, is more positive. We got to speak to that emotional connection. You do brilliant work with hair, but it's more the feeling that people get from that hair access, from you understanding their hair texture, and even, I would say, no judge zone, right? It's like, hey, listen, I can get you to feel a certain way. Just sit in my chair. Okay, speak to that. An example, her mom said that she hadn't seen her this proud in months. My client said that she had never felt so beautiful wearing her natural hair. Okay, that's what happens when you give kids a win that feels like theirs. This is what happens when you work with someone who understands your hair texture. Okay, remembering visibility is built through storytelling. Tell stories and social proof. And social proof. So people have to see that other people have trusted you before, but it's about both. Okay, and conversion happens in conversation, not on the feed. So do not be distracted, guys, by sometimes the cosmetics of social media. If a million people are liking it and no one is in your DMs, then it is in vain. Okay? And we need our friends. We need our friends to like stuff. That's cool. We need cheerleaders. But it is important that what you're posting goes to conversation. Okay? And that's where you have your soft CTAs. Message me the word read. Message me hair. Here's a link. Book some time. Okay, good. Pamela, question. I'm struggling with the authority anchor. The community in which I do my work is somewhat limited and close-knit, and people know everybody I would mention. Okay, would I ask those people for permission to reference them in this way? Absolutely, 1,000%. So anyone you've ever worked with, and you've had clients, Pamela, is that correct? Had clients before? Good. I see the mouth. Yes, yes. So that is, you're sitting on a gold mine. You have people who can speak to the services you've done before. You've got to maximize that. I always say video is very powerful. Like if you just hop on a call with them, video on a Zoom call or whatever call, Zoom, Google Meet, and you record that session and have a conversation. Say, hey, Elise, what's been the experience working with me on the last book project we did together? Let them rave about you because what you do is so specialized. So having people who've gone through the process will allow the future client to make that decision with ease. So do that. And if they're not always comfortable on video, although always suggest that first, then you go to something written. Okay. And I would say even formalize the written. So use a review platform.
Okay, I was trying to actually type a response while you were talking, and I missed part of this. The video is just for us to talk between ourselves, or
Absolutely. Yes.
it's just for us to say, here's what I'm hoping to do, and are you okay with this?
Well, the video would be you guys actually having the conversation of what their
Okay,
experience was. Like
and that's what I was, okay.
a review call, but it's a casual chat. It should feel like that, not hello, Elise. I want to know today how it went. No, just hey, obviously you preempt them, like you ask behind the scenes, then you get on a call, you record it, and that's what you post. Nothing long, no longer than 5 minutes. People want to see that someone else has trusted you before and what their experience was.
Okay. I
Mhm.
do have written testimonials from most of my clients.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So start to circulate that, even if it's just a screenshot. It does look more authentic when it's a screenshot of the message, like cross out any names you need to or whatever privacy, but that's
No.
better than just, yeah, copying and pasting the words. You want to see it came from someone, right?
Yeah, when they did their testimonials for me, they included pictures of them or pictures of them holding the books or pictures of
Wow.
them and me holding the book together.
So I don't
Um,
have a problem with you because you work with adults. So it's very different than someone like me who works with children. And even that, like we sometimes can post the parents, will do like a little permission thing for privacy. But I would say no harm in asking them outright, hey, I'm really trying to, expand things. I'd love to share your recent experience with me that you sent me. That would work really well. Published with you and with them. Wow, that's some really strong content. And then you write a story in the caption, right? Your micro story.
okay, thanks.
That's content. Well done. Okay, so now step 4, we're zooming through. Okay, guys, so a soft CTA in the comments or stories. Like I said, CTA is the action. CTA is call to action. That's what it stands for. You have to call your audience to do an action. We have to. Okay, now an example, it's all here. Working on a few new spots for parents who want this kind of change, want the details. Okay, drop info below if this sounds like what your child needs. These work so well. It's almost like psychology. Like people see someone else wrote info, they read it, all of a sudden they want the info too. And you're like, oh, okay, this is working. Info. All right. And then you're going to exactly, it is FOMO, Brittany. So you're going to do a personal DM with a specific offer. So when the person messages you the word, you're going to reach out to them. Don't leave them hanging. Like the comment and then reach out. Hey, Lise, thanks for reaching out. Based on what you shared, I think your child would be a perfect fit for my small group, blah, blah, blah. Want to book a call to chat more about it? Okay. So these are all included. Okay. You're going to see versions of that on your sheet. Okay. Number 5. This all, you have it on your document. This is just to kind of dive in a little bit more. All right. So here is what invisible work builds a magnetic brand. Because I want you guys just to start to think really of yourself as a brand. You're a brand, whether you like it or not. Our reputation very often precedes us. Now, there's people who, when it comes, I mean, business, right? Business people want to connect to your business, but you're the person wearing that. All right. And also keeping in mind, your brand is what you show people. It's what you show. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so exposed. No, you still decide what you show. So few people want to do the invisible work that makes it stick. And here's what's actually stopping your visibility. It's you're afraid your message won't land. So we're spending way too much time. Oh, is it good? Is it good? You don't want to be misunderstood. So you're afraid to have the hot take, or you're afraid to post something where it's like, oh my gosh, am I showing off? Oh, am I being too arrogant? Okay. And we also think that being polished means professional. I learned a very long time ago, if we're waiting to be professional, we're going to be left behind. The people I have purchased any service from, whether it's like high-end coaching or programs or like anything, they've been people. I don't think they own a business suit. No. If you're wearing a business suit, maybe you're not my person for what I need. Okay? So forget about being polished, be yourself. And remember, perfection doesn't connect. If I feel someone is being scripted when they're reading, I'm like, okay, are you a robot or are you a human? I want to meet the human. And remembering that vulnerability with clarity is what actually connects. So, think about it, where are you trying to look legit? Instead of sounding like yourself and really being true to who you are, I want you to take 2 minutes, maybe take one, okay, and write down the one belief you've been hiding behind. The one belief you've been hiding behind. I have to have my program built out before I promote it. I can't get new clients because I moved cities. I'm not ready until I have my website completed, my sales page perfect. Okay, what's yours? Take 2 minutes. I also wanted to address something Tiffany brought up while you guys are doing that. Okay. So, Tiffany, yes, you changing cities, your clients or your previous clients being in Canada, that's amazing because you already have an audience. What you're going to need to do now is intentionally tap in to your local industry. So, even if you're like hashtag Tennessee, hashtag natural hair Nashville. We're gonna have a meeting on it, I know, but you just have to bring them into your audience and then start to follow people locally. You have to reach out too. Okay. Okay, so guys, I don't even want to know this. This is for you. I don't want to know what you've been hiding behind. But I do want you to kind of think, even when you speak to family and friends, and they're like, oh my goodness, like, how's the business? You're like, oh, well, yeah, I'm working on it, but like, I kind of have to do this before we go live, or like, I can't really seem to find students over the summer. Parents don't want services. What are you hiding behind? Okay. Give that some thought and extend that thought beyond right now as well. Okay. So let's talk about the trust gap. We're going to fly through this. Okay. I want us to flip the funnel. When we talk about the funnel, okay, the funnel is what leads people to you. People don't buy from the person who posts the most, and that's just a fact. Okay. They buy from the person who makes them feel the most understood. So the more real you are, the more that people connect to you, and the more that you remove any buyer resistance. I had a call from a person yesterday on my phone, okay, from my business phone. And she called. We spent 20 minutes on the call. She's like, hey, I saw you recommended in a Facebook group that I'm in. How do I sign my daughter up for your summer program? She didn't care about the price. She didn't care about what. She's like, oh, yeah, we're going to be in Europe. Just got to make sure you have morning classes. Yes, we do. 20 minutes. 20 minutes on the phone. She's never seen my face. Why? Because she felt the most understood when she got the recommendation. The credibility was there. I am sure she creeped my page. I'm sure. She creeped my page. Of course she did. She didn't tell me that. And it's very much about what I'm posting in my content that is emotionally mirroring what someone needs. Guys, tap into emotions and watch your business change. We don't buy things for the sake of buying it. We don't really need much more than we have, I'm sure. We don't buy the thing because we like can't live without the thing. There's some kind of emotional mirroring that's happening, and people feel seen. And when someone feels seen, they can't help but be pulled towards what you offer and want to be a part of it. This person sees me. Okay. And that's why your trust post that you're going to work on after today's call as well, it matters more than your offer post. It matters more. What is the thing? Okay? What is the thing that you do that says, I see you, I get you, I know how to help? For everyone, that's different. Stop worrying about the whole look at me, the pick me energy. We're going to put that to actually throw it away. Don't put it to the side. Throw it away. Don't do pick me. What your angle is I see you, I get you, I know how to help. Now I want you guys to reread your trust post. And like I said, it's not just a for today thing, but think about, does it sound like you? And more importantly, would you message you? Would you message you? And if you're still struggling with, I don't know, then we have to rework what's being said and how we're showing up. Okay. All right. So good question, Shayna. So my feedback has always been, well, you said your main platform is what right now? Remind me.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to pivot to Instagram,
Okay.
um, knowing full well that half of those people are my friends, but I've also
It's okay.
naturally gained people through the, presentations or whatever I'm doing. But I did learn later that, the personal profile on Instagram or Facebook is very different from the business page. Just like, sorry, personal LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram versus business LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. It just takes a lot longer. I notice like I get more results on personal pages than business pages. Nevertheless, I was just asking when you have all this amazing stuff in play, which I will start to work on, right? Um, and you're posting, but if you
Yeah.
don't have followers that aren't just your friends or the few scragglers, like how are you reaching the new people? And that's why I was going to ask about hashtags because I understand how that will allow your post to show up in certain spaces. Sorry.
Absolutely. So great question, great comments. I will say personal pages, no matter what platform, it's always going to do better than your business page. Personal pages, the algorithm of Facebook especially and Instagram favors personal pages. Why? Because it shows a human is using the platform. Now, the more the human uses the platform, the more the human is going to show up to other humans. So when I have other clients and people who have a business page on Facebook, which I would say it's a nice to have because it does add a layer of credibility, but it is not the main, it's not what the algorithm favors. Okay. So I always tell my clients if you have a personal Facebook page, post your business stuff on your personal page. And I know it's weird. And I know you're like, my cousin's here. What this is for them, but it doesn't matter. If you're really trying to grow your business, it's the personal page that's going to be impactful. And I've seen, I wonder, like I'm not an algorithm master, but it you'll see your friend requests start to really flow in and your followers start to increase. Okay. All right. So now let's install your brand identity into your daily content. I'm going to make this pretty practical, but zoom through it as well. So you don't need more posts. I want you to really just remember that. You just need more congruence. And here's how you translate your brand into daily content. It's kind of small, but hopefully we can see. Okay. So brand identity, if you want to have a brand identity that's calm, confident, and a guide, okay, then I want you to, how that translates into content is it's short stories, thoughtful takes, and quiet wins. Okay. Now, if you want your brand identity to be a strategic educator, no matter what field, you can be an educator in whatever respective field you do, then you need to share simple frameworks and teaching from proof. Show me the thing. Okay. How do you get to the thing? What are your steps you take? Oh, this person has a method. Huh, very strategic. How do you get my editing, my book published? Whoa, okay, these are the 5 steps and this is the roadmap. I want to be a part of that. If you want to have a brand identity that's honest and empathetic, then it's about content that's vulnerable with boundaries. So guys, like I said, you do not need to put all your goods out there to be vulnerable. We decide, we hit the post button. So when people kind of cringe at like, oh, I'm sharing myself, I'm like, yeah, but you shared what you wanted us to see. So it's vulnerability with the boundaries that you create. Okay. And then the I've been there is really great. Brittany, I know you have an amazing story. You educate, you live, you taught with primarily Spanish speaking students. Looking at Brittany, I'd be like, Brittany, what? But what a story. What a story for someone to connect to and say, hey, if I can do this and lead my life and live in this way, so can you. You resonate with me. Okay. So as an adult learning, I'm like, wow, Brittany could do this. Okay, well, I trust it. She's been there. Call it out. Okay. Vulnerable with boundaries. Now, implementation. Choose 2 of the following to post this week. I want you guys to, 1, this is what I believe, post. Jot that down. This is what I believe. 1 story of a student client win. Tiff, for you, that could be a photo, with a short story attached to it. Okay. 1 myth you're here to dismantle. And that's also on your sheet, guys, just calling it out. All right. So this is your magnetic brand checklist. If you're building a quiet brand that sells, your content and positioning must do the following. Make someone feel seen. You're not a generalist. What you do is specific. Your I help statement helps you stay on track for that. You're going to offer a clear transformation. You're going to reaffirm your values without sounding preachy. Don't be a know-it-all. You do know it all for what you do, but there's a way to say, hey, this is what I'm about. I'm about this, and repeat that, and they're clear on what you're about without sounding preachy, which can be a little bit of a deterrent. Okay, so find your balance in that. And then make your offer sound like a relief. Like, oh, finally I found Shayna. Where has Shayna been? Finally, Pamela, who in the world thought of doing editing for French teachers? Like, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just such a powerful niche. Okay, so make your offer sound like a relief, not a pitch. It's not buy, buy, buy. It's I have the solution, I have the solution, I have the solution. And ask yourself before every post, is this post actually building demand? Does it have a purpose? Or am I just filling space, posting for the sake of? Okay. Now, your brand is an identity shift. So just remember, it's not about being loud or polished. I'm giving you reminders. Quiet doesn't mean you're playing small. Okay. It means you're strategic, you're intentional, and it's unshakable. So what does your brand look like when you stop hiding? I want you guys, that's going to be something you take away today. What does your brand look like when you stop hiding? Are you like, oh my gosh, Elise, where do I hire a virtual assistant? My inbox is booming. Is that you? Is it? Wow. Like people, I've never paid attention to me. I post something about myself and put a picture, and this is the best a post has ever done. Okay. What does your brand look like when you stop hiding? Now, we're wrapping up, guys. We're winding down. So if you wanted, I always leave this opportunity. If you want my eyes on your business as we wind down today, I am going to give you an opportunity to do so. You're going to have 2 options. Okay. So I invite you. This is an offering that I do on workshops only, where you can book a 90-minute brand intensive with me. This is where you work with me one-to-one. Got me all to yourself. Okay. For 90 minutes. And on that call, we refine your offer, we clarify your message, and we build your quiet power funnel. This has been very much, guys, a strategy that people take and run with and change their businesses. 90 minutes. You just got to get someone else's eyes on what you do. On that call, we do a personalized audit of your content and positioning. Within a few minutes, I'm like, whoa, why are you hiding about this thing? Do more of this all the time. Okay. We'll get clarity on your ideal client and how to reach them, and a simple strategic plan to grow your brand without burnout. Okay. So that's going to be an option available for you. Okay. In that action, I'm going to put all of this in our chat today. All right. So the second option, okay, for those who need a little bit more time with me, there's a 6-week option. Okay. It's happening for our workshop attendees only. And those who see the replay will have this option as well. And this is where you're going to, yep, in the chat, it's there. This is where you're going to have 6 weeks with me now. It's going to be hands-on one-on-one support, one-on-one mentorship, where we're going to literally build your full brand. 6 weeks is a long time. We're going to build it out, okay? So the summer, that's what we'll work on one-to-one, so that by the fall, you're booming before then. Because what we do, it's implementation. We're doing as we're working. Similar to this, we're putting it out there, okay? We're going to build your offer. What's the one thing you're going to be really good at and strong in based on what you do? Your content system and your visibility plan. I have a bunch of done-for-you templates, content strategies, and it's going to be specific to you, okay? And it's going to be ideally focused on getting you the real visibility. So real people who actually care about what you do, real positioning, and real results. Okay, so that option is also available to you in the chat. All right, and if you wanted to just book some time with me to kind of discuss, like, okay, Elise, where should I be? My Connect with Elise link is there as well. Okay, so I want to thank you guys. We powered through. We powered through this, guys, and thank you for hanging with me. I really, honestly, these sessions are quite a gift for me because it is a chance for me to connect with other business owners and people who are really looking to take things very serious in their business and ultimately live your life by design and not default. Because that's ultimately what business ownership for me is about. It's about more impact, more freedom, and really just offering all the gifts we've been blessed with, whether that's one thing or two businesses or three or whatever, to the world. Okay. So everyone deserves to let their giftings be really loud. Let your giftings be loud, not your marketing. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for joining. I'm going to hang back. I'll answer any questions anyone may have, but really appreciate you hanging out today, and we'll see you soon. Hi, Shayna. One second. I'm going to.
Of course, I just